Yes?
May I quickly go get my other book?
You can just do that for now. Okay, afternoon class.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Did everybody receive the paper? Thank you. Okay, so first, let's just start. If I tell you cattle in the rain, what comes to mind?
Cows that are in the rain.
Cows that are in the rain. Yes. That was pretty obvious. So I got a quick little video of cows in the rain. That's good fun.
Yes.
Yes.
That's you walking around eating and it's quite
Okay. Imagine you have almost no clothes. You have like a little clothing clean and you have no shoes and you have to be there the whole day to make sure the cows are okay. Is it still okay? Is it still fun? No. Okay. Now I know you like the rain. Okay. So before we start, I'm just going to tell you a bit about the poet. Don't worry. This will never be an exam where they ask you about the poet. It's just so you understand when we talk about the poem, certain background. So, the poet, Musumura Bonasamanya, was born in 1949. Now, most of his work, his poem stuff, takes place between 1970 and 1980s, and it talks about the hardships of rural Zimbabwe. Fun fact. Up until 1980, Zimbabwe wasn't called Zimbabwe. Who knows what it was called? Thank you, but unfortunately not. I wish. Yes. Rhodesia. That was just a random interesting fact. Someone knows it. Thank you. Okay, then. He's currently living and working in America, so think about that. When we talk about what this poem is about, think where is this poet now? So you can all look on the back of it. We're going to read the poem. Nothing has no end. It is true. The rain used to soak up us in the pastures, and the cattle would not stop to graze. They would not be driven to the kraal. It made me cry and curse sometimes, and I used to wish I was born for the skirt. Just imagine penetrating the wet bush, almost doubled up, with a heavy smelling coat of jute sack as a raincoat. Pebbles of water pounding on the head, very irritating too. Sometimes an angry wasp, disturbed by the foregoing cows, stabbed you on the cursing lips and in the frantic stampede. Wet thorns snap at random in your benumbed feet, and the rain does not cease, and the cows just go on. Come to the kraal. This ox called Gatuma stands still before the rest, his ghost of silent disapproval shattering to your mind. Listening to nothing at all. And I knew then that I had to call for help, but people at home in warm huts could hardly hear me through the maddening rain. This ox, tail high, at 2 sniffs and a cajole, all meant to humiliate, would crash through the thin bush, leaving me running weakly, sobbing at each step, a bone of anger blocking my breath, chugging after the rhythmic hooves hammering the earth. And still it rained, and the cows went skelter, and the rain swept the salty tears and watery mucus into my lips. I was a mouthful. So, who wants to tell me what this poem is about? From just that one reading. What do they think? Yes.
Is it about like a boy or like a man who used to work, well, we used to like keep an eye on the cows and yeah, I don't know what to say.
So that will be part of it. That's right. What do we call that boy, man? What would it be called? But in English, a shepherd. What?
The cattle herd.
That can also be that. But in this case, we just refer to it as shepherd. Do you follow?
Yeah.
For this, we can use it on this also. But mostly yes. Okay, she said it is the boy or a man herding the cows. Who wants to add to that? What happens?
Wouldn't like something go wrong, like cow ran over you or something?
They didn't run over him, but you can say something went wrong, yes. But what led to it?
Rain.
Rain, yes. But you can add something.
The wasp.
The wasp. Okay, there was the wasp. The wasp made the cow run. Okay, anyone wants to try something also? Okay, so it's about this boy that has to herd the cattle. It's raining, he's cold, obviously he's negative. Eventually, there's a big cattle, Gatuma, that stands in the way of him and the other cattle. He doesn't want the cattle to go through, even though the boy tried really nicely. The boy is near tears, eventually he does cry. Do you remember that? And then paint a better picture. So all of your answers were correct. We're just adding to it. Now, just a quick, some new words. Or maybe it's not new to you. Kajul means to ask nicely. The boy tried really nicely to get the cow. I don't know how he did it. Probably said, please come, please come. I don't know. Then, Jude, it's a card. I'll have a picture for us. A card of plant fiber used to make sacks. It's brown. Who has seen Harry Potter? Who has seen Dobby? Okay, so I'm going to show you the picture. Now imagine that thing Dobby is wearing, that before he started wearing clothes. Imagine this little boy has that thing on him. It's like a pillowcase. It's shaped like a cone. Then mucus. I hope everyone knows mucus is snot. Or who doesn't know it? I'm sorry. Now you know. Pastures. It's grass, meadow, grassy twilight. There where there's that grass area in the sun. Like that. Obviously this will be a lot bigger than that small little area. Then penetrating means pushing through. Has everybody heard the word penetrating before?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Skelter. Skelter is a slide on a children's playground. And then the last one, stampede. Who has seen Nike? Those buffaloes running over poor dad. That's stampede. They're going crazy and just running. Oh, sorry. If I knew I was doing it to you. That's why I don't watch animals.
Now I cry every time.
Then don't watch it. Okay, structure of the poem. You'll see most of this information is on the front page. So if that you can't read, but I'm pretty sure everyone can read it. It's a narrative poem with 3 verses. It's mostly informal language. We're going to go to it as colloquial language on the first few stanzas, or first few lines, sorry. There's only one stanza. This whole poem, how many lines are there? 38 and 1 stanza. Then the tone is self-pitying and exhausted. This boy, so the speaker is the shepherd, the boy, he wants you to feel sorry for him. He wants you to be, oh, shame, how can I help him? What must I do? He wants you to really understand how bad it was for them there. Then, there's very little punctuation. And then this poem is written in the first person because why? What does it mean to write in the first person?
It comes from the voice of the
And then what words would you usually use? Yes. You'll have the next one. Who is the poet?
Suramura.
And then, so we have the poet, who's the speaker. I think boy would be more correct in this case, but yes. It's about boy, using boy word. Yes.
Isn't the poet the speaker as well?
It can be. Well, we're guessing it is because it talks about, his work is about those rural areas in Zimbabwe, and this is obviously, so yes, but just for this case, you're going to say the boy or shepherd.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Everybody fine? Did you write what you needed to write? Okay, so the next one is some pictures. So when we get to the one with Gatuma, remember this one, the big ox. Then a wasp. I'm pretty sure you all know how a wasp looks. No? There it goes. Then horns. Obviously, a little boy. That boy even has a jacket. He's even better than the boy in the poem. And then imagine that boy had to go through snow. Do you think that would have been fun? Would you like to go through snow?
No.
You that like the rain?
I'm always please myself to be.
So rain, yes, snow, no. Okay. Let's start. Yes.
What's the tone of
The tone is self-pitying and exhaustion. We want you to feel sorry for him. Okay. Mark 9. Read for us the first 5 lines. Read from your paper.
Nothing has made it is true. The rain used to save us in the pastures, and the cattle would not stop again. They would not be driven by the
Next time you just read from your paper. You literally write it down. I'm just saying. Okay. Nothing has no end. Yes.
Ma'am, I just want to ask, is this PowerPoint on RTSI?
I can send it to them.
Yes, it will be. It will be uploaded.
Thank you, ma'am.
But you still have to make notes.
Yes, ma'am.
If I go too fast, say, hey, no. Okay, nothing has no end. Notice the double negative. In math, 2 negatives make a positive. So the positive comes from the second one also. It is true. So imagine you have the worst day ever. At the end of it, something positive will still come out of it. It will end. So you have a bad day at school. Your books fall, you fall down the stairs. I don't mean like bad fall, you just like slip down the stairs. The day's just bad. And then you get home, you see your mom and your dad, or your bed, and then it's just happy again because you can just lie down or give someone a hug. So everything bad has to come to a positive eventually. So nothing has no end, it is true. So, yes.
Here he like literally says twice, the double negative, doesn't it like emphasize how bad the moment is, but it doesn't
Yes.
it doesn't say there's no
That's what it implies. So the thing about the poem is, no matter how bad it is. So now remember the poet is working now in America, but he has to go through all this bad things.
yeah.
He had to go through it. So what he's saying is, even though it's so worse, like this whole poem, it's bad. Imagine you in that situation. But eventually it ends.
Yeah, yes, no, but it doesn't make sense that like that piece tells us that it's a positive. Like
That's why you get the background information.
No, I mean, it kind of says nothing has no end. So it says everything has an end. It doesn't, nothing has no end. There is an end.
Exactly. But if it said everything has no end, it feels like, what do you mean?
oh, it's not
You
saying.
understand? But because they say nothing has no end, everything has an end.
Okay.
So even the worst possible times,
Okay.
it will get better.
Does it make better sense now?
Yes, now.
Can you see if I stand here? Can you still see?
Yes.
I will I'll move like piece by like a chess piece. It is true. The rain used to soak us in the pastures. Used to, past tense. Because remember, it looks back on those days. Then, used to soak us. So, this would be the boys, all the boys, shepherds from that village or time. Do you think he's the only one of the village that has to look after the cattle? No, probably more. He's probably looking after his farm, of his family's cattle, and then someone somewhere looking after their family's one, or today's his turn, tomorrow the other one's turn. And then there can also be the cattle, because the cattle's also getting soaked. I think it's fun for a cow to be out, or an ox to be out in the rain all day. What does it say? No, I don't think it's fun. Imagine how heavy they must get from their fur. I think they have fur. Okay, and then the cattle did not stop to graze. Graze means eat. So they didn't want to stop to eat. And then they would not be driven to the kraal. So this is where the colloquial language comes in. Who knows what is colloquial language?
Mom, isn't it mixed language?
Mixed language, and then maybe what more?
Something that comes from a culture.
More informal. So mixed language, because kraal is
Isn't it slang?
slang is more.
No, it's not like native language.
Okay. So that's basically what she also translates the culture. So colloquial language is more informal language that we use every day, day-to-day speaking. Who knows what's a kraal in English? Or what's an American word? What would be an American word?
Paddock.
What?
Paddock.
It starts with a C.
Stable.
No.
Go ahead. I like that spelling. Corral. I must have heard it on some of the TV shows. But kraal is most Afrikaans, so colloquial language, informal, everyday language. It would probably be the way we are used to saying something. It's not, obviously the difference would be if you talk to Mrs. the vet, you wouldn't usually talk the way you talk with the friends. Everyday language. I would hope not. More formal.
Mom, maybe I always speak formally.
That would be an interesting life. I think a bit boring eventually, but formal.
Nothing is boring if you're word is scout is kleurvol. Yes, ma'am. Okay, move on.
I got you. So if you stand in the mirror and practice something or just get yourself hyped up, you also speak formal.
Yes, ma'am, I would.
I don't know, I just asked that because I think it's interesting to know. Okay, did everybody write down? Then the last part of this, you can already start to see that even though it's already raining and the poor boys, so the cattle is not listening to him. They're uncooperative. They don't want to go into the kraal. They don't even want to eat because he said, we're not stop to graze. I don't know, it's a bad day for both of them. Can I go to the next one? Okay. Let's do Chloe. Can you read for me line 6 to 11? Maybe you can use your papers.
It made me cry and curse sometimes, and I used to wish I was born with a skirt. Just imagine penetrating the wet bush, almost doubled up with a heavy smelling, honed up jute sack, as a raincoat.
Thank you. Okay, so there's a picture of the jute sack. We're going to get to that now. It made me cry and curse sometimes. See alliteration. Let's see there at the back. Alliteration.
Repetition constant.
As we said, alliteration there. Yes. And then the cry and curse. He's expressing his frustration, anger at this whole situation. So even in the beginning, when the cattle did not want to, they didn't eat, they didn't want to go to the kraal, he's already crying, and he's not happy. This poor boy has a very bad day. Then, and I used to wish I was born for the skirt. You can tell me what I think that means.
He wishes he was a girl.
Would you, in your opinion, okay, before, I'm going to ask you and then I'll give you a few facts. Would you, in your opinion, wish that you, in that moment, rather wish you were the girl or the boy?
A girl, because in the stereotypical way, girls won't do this work usually. So
What are they doing? Okay, cooking?
They will work in the kitchen and help their mothers.
Okay. So keep that in mind what she said, that she would also rather wish she was a girl. So I'm going to just give you a few facts about that time, 1970s to 1980s. What was the role the girls played in those rural areas? And what was the role the boys played in that rural areas? So, the boys had to herd the cattle and goats. They had to help on the farm with the bigger stuff. And then those things that helped them live. Then they had to prepare for manhood, so they had various lessons they had to learn, rituals sometimes. And then there was a war going on. So at the end of 1980, Zimbabwe became Zimbabwe, when it wasn't Rhodesia anymore. But there was a war between, so sometimes the boys had to go fight the war. The girls had also had to do domestic work. So not just cooking, they had to clean, make sure the family is doing fine, make sure everything is the way it should be. But they also had to work on the farms. They had more smaller work, like harvesting and weeding. And then also had cultural training, how to be a proper lady, how to make sure your family is going okay. While the boys learn how to provide for the family, the girls learn how to cook for the family. What is expected of them. But do you think, considering what she said, do you think maybe the boys and girls eventually also had equal chores and stuff they had to do? Yes. You say no.
And I say nothing.
You say nothing. Okay.
Can I give you an example of that?
Very quick. So, the girls, and then just the last bit, we said the boys, they sometimes had to go with the war. The girls was, most of the time they were in that time were in danger while the war was going on. Because they couldn't protect themselves. So, I'm going to ask someone else now. Let's see, do you think the boy, would you rather be the girl in the house, still doing all his work, or the boy outside?
Ma'am, I think I would probably be the girl, ma'am, because I'm used to it, I guess.
But think of with both situations.
Ma'am, I think it's better to be a girl because I would rather go clean the house than have to go fight a war.
Okay. So this boy, he used to wish. So you also see again used to. So that means he, what did you say?
he grew out of it.
He grew out of that wish. He used to wish he was the girl. The girls were in the house at least, not in the reign of the cat. Then almost just imagine penetrating the wet bush. Who has been in the bushveld or just high grass when it was wet, raining? So just imagine you're already wearing this thingy and you're cold and you have to go through that bush in the rain. I think that would be very, very cold. With almost doubled up. So if he's cold, he had to go after these cattle the whole day. So he's probably walking like this. He's tired. That poor little boy. Then with a heavy smelling coat of jute sack. There you. Heavy smelling, what would that mean?
It smells really bad.
Do you think it
It's
was
like a strong smell. No.
Do you think he was sweating during the day before, maybe before it rained?
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Because he had to move
Yeah.
and you think the cattle smells good. And he's around it. Okay, so remember the shape I told you about Dobby from Harry Potter? Now imagine him wearing that. This is a jute sack. That's all he's wearing. Probably no shoes. That's all he's wearing. In this cold and it's raining. Then, as a raincoat. So, between 1970 to 1980, do you think there was, in this area that also probably didn't even have electricity, do you think there was something that they could tell what the weather will be? So, do you think he knew it would rain? So he's probably unprepared. This is all he's wearing. He didn't even have something over it. This, just this pillow thing, jute sack. That's all he's wearing. Yes.
Now, if he says he wears the jute sack as a raincoat, doesn't that mean he has something underneath over
No, the jute sack is what he's wearing as a raincoat. That's all he has. Oh wait. Yes, I think I know what you mean. So,
If he wears it as a raincoat, it means he must have something underneath, and then he put that over to protect him from them.
but would you then think this would be something still making him warm? Or maybe just like shorts and a shirt? But
Rain. Cotton is more weight easier.
yes.
So it could protect.
But in this case, there's also not to say that thing is new.
A jute sack is very loosely knitted. There's a lot of holes and
It
places
will go
for
through,
it
and it can be
to
holes, so more holes. And where did he get it? If he, like she said, maybe just put it on as a raincoat, it was maybe something that was just picked up in the field.
Ma'am, it was probably the feedback of the cattle.
Look at you. Do you live on a farm?
No, ma'am, I ride horses.
Okay, you live. Okay, that makes total sense. Okay, now go to the next one. I'm just joking, I'm not saying anything bad.
No,
it's just-
ma'am, I know.
Next. Well, you're gonna read for us, well, will you read for us 12 to 16?
Pebbles of water pounding on the head, very irritating too. Sometimes an angry wasp, disturbed by the full-grown cows, stabbed you on the cursing lips, and in a frantic stampede, wet thorns snapped at random in your benumbed feet.
Okay, beautiful. Pebbles of pounding water. What figure of speech is it? End of this one.
Metaphor.
Metaphor. How do we know it's a metaphor? You want to call a friend? Call a friend. Layla. You were called. How do we know it's a metaphor?
Well, you kind of compare it.
What is being compared?
The pebbles of water.
What is a pebble? Do you know what's a pebble? Okay, so not. Yes, no. It's a stone. Little stone. Yes.
No, it's like the
Puzzle.
stones. Is it like those little stones?
Yes.
It feels like that's what I said, so it's painful.
So what is
So
compared?
pebbles are being compared to the water.
To the raindrops. Yes. So he's saying, and I think it's maybe exaggerating a bit, but he's saying these pebbles, these water raindrops are feeling like little stones falling on his head. And it's very, very sore. And then it also says it's very irritating too. So not only is it sore, but it's obnoxious. Have you ever just stood in the rain where you had to move through the rain, like run somewhere, and it's just raining, it's in your eyes, it's everywhere? Yes.
Ma'am, could the water not, like the water pounding with like the pedals, could that water not also be like, is it hail? What's hail in English?
Hail.
Yes, could it not like be like hail?
That's a very good question. In this case, he's talking about the rain, but maybe it wasn't, and he just didn't know that was hail. I will be honest, I don't know when hail was first identified, but it could have been. But it can also be just a very, not loud, but a very hard rain. Then, sometimes an angry wasp disturbed by the foregoing cows. Foregoing means the previous mentioned cows. Then, and now there's a wasp. So not only is it raining, these cattle then ain't listening to him. Now there's a wasp. Oh, and he's cold, so it's just getting worse and worse. Stabbed you on the cursing lip and in the frantic stampede. So stab. When I say I stabbed you, you immediately think, sorry, I came and I stabbed you, right? Yes.
Now, what they say like the foregoing house is forementioned. What is forementioned?
Previously mentioned.
But ma'am, the foregoing doesn't mean like the cows are just walking. You know, they're just like going and walking on. They just keep on moving like the foregoing cows.
Sometimes an angry wasp is disturbed by the foregoing cows.
Because like the wasp on the grass and the cows are walking and it's disturbed by the wasp. It's not. I think
Everybody, I think you can take it as well. I understand
Make
what you're saying.
a note with it. Make a note with it.
Yes. Aforementioned or foregoing cows.
I think
Like you mean forward going. Understand? Like they're moving, they're continuously moving.
Just make a note next to it as well. Then, stab. So we said, if I say stab, you think already thinking someone with like a knife and going at you. So, he's using emotive language to make it more dramatic. So what would you have said? The wasp, what did they do to you? They stop.
Now, according to ChatGPT, foregoing means previous or just mentioned, or if it is used as a verb, it means giving up or without going. So the cows aren't moving.
Thank you. Yeah, but it is like a forementioned.
Although you
Think
didn't
about
mention
cows
thinking
anyway.
cows.
They are busy like racing on the field. So if you understand, cows aren't like continuously moving around. They actually stand still throughout the day, most of the time.
Here it just says that their cattle would not stop to graze.
Yeah, so let's remember, he said that yes, but they didn't stop. I think they just walked, they just did their own thing. Because they didn't listen to him, they didn't even eat.
Yeah.
Okay. So, thank you, ChatGPT. Then, so, you would have said stung, the wasp stung you. So not, it stabbed you. Otherwise, that was a very angry wasp. Then, the frantic stampede. A tense, scary atmosphere is created. The boys feel like he has no control in the situation. So remember we said the Lion King where the bulls ran, buffaloes ran? Do you think in that situation, where these cattle, they were stung or stabbed, and they just ran? They didn't, probably no direction, just ran. The boy will start to feel anxious and scared. He doesn't know what to do. Because he's just a boy. Do you think, this is actually a thing I'm going to ask you. Do you think that boy had lots of training how to handle cattle?
No, I don't think it.
He probably maybe went with his dad once or twice and just saw what he did. And so he didn't really know what to do when that happened. Wet thorns snap at random in your benumbed feet. What is he saying when he says wet thorns snap at random?
Ma'am, when you like was around, the thorns just
There's thorns everywhere.
every area.
Yes.
Just
It wasn't there, is the form, it's
Yeah,
everywhere.
he didn't know, he just came.
Yes. The Namfi, what does that mean?
The thorns, he's stepping on the thorn with that bird.
The Namfi, what would that mean?
It's causing him to feel like he doesn't feel his feet. It's numb.
Okay, who wants to try and add to that or help her?
He's been standing for so long now, his feet, he can't feel his feet anymore. So the thorns doesn't really bother him because he can't feel them.
Is it not? Okay, you said because he stood for maybe a long time. Okay? Yes. So you were right, you were getting there, but so he had been in the cold. It's raining, his feet are cold, he's cold, the grass is wet. We have stood in, I think in primary school on the grass in the winter mornings when it starts to get that cold, no shoes. How does your feet feel? It gets numb after a while because it's too cold. So his feet are numb, and then he just, as he's running, probably running after the cows or cattle, can't feel the forms. Probably see them, but can't feel them. Then I go on. Okay, I'll read this one, 17 to 24. And the rain does not cease, and the cows just go on. Come to the kraal, this ox called Katuma. Stand still before the rest. These ghosts of silent disapproval shattering to your mind, listening to nothing at all. And I knew then that I had to call for help. Okay, so the rain is still going. Even after all the frantic stampede, the wasp, the rain is still going. And the cows just go on. They don't really care what he's saying. They just do their thing. They go on, they do their thing. They make it more difficult for the boy to get them together, get them into the kraal. Come to the kraal, this ox called Katuma. Remember the picture I showed you of that big ox there in the beginning? Do you have that in your mind? So Katuma is the name of the city in Zimbabwe. The city has a new name now. The name is Kadoma. And stands still before the rest. So this ox, this massive ox, is standing there before the rest of the cattle. He's not moving. And obviously those cattle are not going in because he stands before them. He's probably the biggest one there. Then his ghost of silent disapproval shattering to your mind. What figure of speech is that? Metaphor. Why? What is being compared?
Ghost and silent disapproval.
Can you see disapproval? Can you see the ghost disapproval? So he's saying this ox that's standing there judging him, or he feels like he's judging him, he's comparing it to, even though he can't see it, you can feel it. The ghost disapproval, which you can't even see disapproval really, only on face. But he's saying you can feel it. That ox is just standing there, disapproving of them going into the kraal and of him with his job. Because his job is to take them into the kraal.
Ma'am,
Yes.
line the 22:1 is the metaphor.
Yes. Sorry, yes, that is. These guys are silent disapproval shattering to your mind. Then, listening to nothing at all. There's a repetition there. Do you think this Katuma, even the rest of the cattle is listening to the boy? You think he can talk and they will still not listen to him? And then the last one, and I knew then that I had to call for help. So through all of this, so far, the boy was alone. There's no one to help him. But now, he can't get him into the kraal. The ox is in his way. The others won't go past him. It's raining, it's cold, there was a wasp. Now he starts to get desperate. He starts to realize he needs help. He can't do this on his own. Are you still writing? Okay. Okay, can I go to the next one? Who says no? Okay. Okay, can I go now? Okay. But people at home in warm huts could hardly hear me through the maddening rain. This ox, tail high, and 2 sniffs and a cajole, all meant to humiliate, would crash through the thin bush, leaving me running weakly, sobbing at each step. Okay. But people at home in warm huts. Where did we say the boy is? Outside in the rain. And is it warm? No, it's cold. And then he says, where's the people? In the warm hut. So notice the contrast. Where he is and they are. There. Could hardly hear me through the maddening rain. There's some H alliteration. This ox tail high at 2 sniffs at the cajole. He says cajole is to persuade someone nicely. So he really tries nicely, plead with this ox, just move. I'm really curious how he tried it. Did he go to him and tap him on the back and, come please now. Or did he stand in front of him, please now. I'm actually really curious how he would have done that.
You know when you stand behind like an ox and you lift up the table.
But then, oh yes. Yes. So maybe he did that. Yeah, I don't think that thing was good. He was just look. No, but that's not nicely. Unless he focused with the stick at me. I'm just curious to know how he tried nicely. Then, all made to humiliate. So, obviously, a big animal will have more power than this little boy. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. And this boy's already frightened. He's sad, he's exhausted, he's cold, and then there's just this big animal that doesn't want to move.